Mic check, 1 2 1. Oh, sorry, hang on. Let me point this. Mic check, 1 2 1 2. Check it, check it, check it, check it.
He likes this one.
This is Channel 2 News, coverage you can count on.
Respect the rights of other people and their property and not get so engrossed in it that they're not paying attention to what's going on around them.
Pokemon Go has been getting gamers active, and some companies are using it to boost sales. However, it is causing some issues in the capital city. How so? In our Channel 2 News big story at 5:30. All right, I don't know if I saw this one coming. The smartphone app out last week continues to grow in popularity, but it's causing some problems. Good evening, I'm Landon Miller.
I'm Kristen Remington. Thanks for keeping it here tonight. All right, listen to this. The Carson City Sheriff's Office is asking Pokemon players to be aware of your surroundings. Sounds like common sense, but there's a reason they're asking for this. Zach Mooney is live here in the studio. Zach, what kind of problems have they been seeing already?
Well, Kristen, it's amazing, some of these. They're saying the game is mostly causing issues with private property. At night, there have been burglary scares at businesses. During the days, deputies responded after a woman said 2 people even wandered into her yard.
Respect the rights of other people and their property and not get so engrossed in it that they're not paying attention to what's going on around them.
The Carson City Sheriff's Office is seeing an increase in calls because of Pokemon Go. They say one woman living near Gonai Road reported 2 people in her backyard searching for virtual animals.
When we're getting the call initially, it's an unknown.
Sergeant Scott McDaniel says deputies are responding to groups of players at businesses at night.
We don't know why there are people around the businesses. We don't know if they're burglarizing it or going to commit a crime or drug deals or what's going on.
And then there's the roads.
Stepping off a curb, you can sprain an ankle, you can stumble into traffic. Don't chase a character. One's bouncing across the street, don't run after it. Same as when you were a kid, you didn't chase the bouncing ball.
Mark Samuels uses his skateboard to catch Pokemon quickly.
Instead of having to walk around or have to try to drive in cars or do anything like that, it's just been like cruising around and enjoying the weather and just catching some Pokemon.
Driving and playing is illegal and dangerous, but McDaniel says even having a passenger play for you is risky.
That's still distracting because you've got the passenger who's taking care of that, and then he's talking to the driver, hey, so-and-so said this, and you're responding to it. So your thought process is switching from that driving back to the attention of the passenger.
Finally, Sergeant McDaniel says avoid dark or unfamiliar areas. Roger Herrera plays with a group of friends during the day.
It's just a game, so I don't want to be in trouble for a little game.
And Sergeant McDaniel says they've not gotten any specific complaints from businesses, only concerned residents. Covering the big story live in the studio, Zach Mooney, Channel 2 News.
Now, here's Chief Meteorologist Mike Alger's first look at the Pinpoint 2 forecast.
Well, I'm afraid that the weather hasn't done anything to dampen the enthusiasm out there, of course. Lots of sunshine across the area, and it looks like we're going to keep it sunny really throughout the next 7 days. What is going to change a little bit is we'll continue to warm up for a day or two, and then we're going to cool off a little bit toward the weekend. Now, that's going to take temperatures not only on a ride, but the winds that have been fairly light today continue to be so. They're going to start to pick up a little bit as we start to cool things off in the next couple of days. Certainly not cool today. We got up to 94 degrees. Now we're actually a degree or 2 above average after being below for the last several days here. Notice even into the 80s at South Lake, triple digits over in Redding. So again, we have a lot of warm conditions across the area. In terms of what we can expect to see tomorrow here, not a big change. That low up right there is going to stay well to our north. We are going to build up our ridge of high pressure, probably maximize it tomorrow. And then we're going to see a little weak low start to move in here up out of the northwest. That'll give us a little wind, cool us down a little bit, but it'll still keep us sunny. We'll tell you what the temperatures and the winds will do as we head into the weekend coming up here in a little bit.
All right, Mike, thank you for that. Well, the family of a BLM firefighter who was killed on a fire truck when it crashed on Sunday is asking for help with memorial costs. Jake O'Malley's family says he and his roommate, Will Hawkins, were killed when their fire truck rolled. This was back on Sunday evening. They were trying to raise more than $10,000 to pay for his memorial, which is currently set for Saturday, though a location has not yet been finalized. We have a link for where you can donate, as well as information about that memorial at KTVN.com. The family says a memorial will also be held in Winnemucca sometime in the future for both firefighters.
If you were just joining us tonight, let's catch you up on the big story we covered at 5. Roughly $1,500 worth of baseball equipment was stolen from Hug High School, but the community has really stepped in to help. It didn't even take a full 24 hours before the school collected every single penny lost worth of gear. Gloves, baseballs, bats, and uniforms were all found missing by school police late last month. Since then, several generous donations have come forward from local businesses and residents alike. Coming up at 6:30, we'll show you how you can still help school police find all that stolen equipment. And the Carson City Sheriff's Office is asking for help finding a teenager who ran away from home. Deputies say 14-year-old Jaden Krauser ran away from home on July 1st. Here's a picture of her. She's 5'1" with dyed dark hair and blue eyes. She weighs about 120 pounds. Deputies do not suspect foul play in her disappearance. So if you know where she is, call 887-2677.
Well, as we told you yesterday, the FBI will no longer investigate the mysterious case of D.B. Cooper. The skyjacker jumped from a plane with $200,000 on a flight from Seattle to Reno. Paul Nelson joins us live in the studio after interviewing a retired police officer who met the plane when it landed here in the biggest little city. And Paul, this was just the start of a long career for Dick Kirkland, wasn't it?
It was, Landon. Dick Kirkland was the Reno Police Chief, Washoe County Sheriff, and Director of Public Safety. But in 1971, he was a young police officer when he was called to the airport hoping to arrest D.B. Cooper.
The runways have been rebuilt and enlarged.
A lot's changed since the night before Thanksgiving, nearly 45 years ago.
Oh, I was just a kid. I mean, I'd only been on 3 years, and I was maybe 24 or so.
That's when Reno police officer Dick Kirkland waited for a plane hijacked by D.B. Cooper to land in the biggest little city.
And as soon as we got the call to go to the airport, the FBI was there, explained to us what was going on, and then of course we all got kind of jacked up, and we thought, well, maybe we'll have a shot at catching this guy.
D.B. Cooper had $200,000 in ransom money and 4 parachutes when he ordered the pilot of this Boeing 727 to leave Seattle for Mexico. The hijacker jumped from the plane near the Washington-Oregon border, and the plane landed in Reno with the door open.
When it landed, it was you could see the sparks coming off as it was rolling down the runway.
The plane was surrounded, but nobody knew if Cooper was still on board.
We deployed around it, and we had our snipers in the grass. As I recall, on the south, east, and west end, and then we just waited, and we had our plan of what we were going to do if, in fact, he was still on the plane.
He wasn't, and a massive manhunt was soon underway more than 500 miles away. D.B. Cooper was never found, but $5,800 of the stolen money was found along the Columbia River in 1980. Kirkland doesn't think he survived the jump.
If they found the money, then of course, I think one of two things happened. He probably, if the money got spilled out into the river, as they said, he probably got stuck up in the trees or plowed in.
While the case was never solved, it did bring some big changes to the Reno Police Department.
The SWAT team in Reno was born from that. So yeah, it was a watershed moment for us.
Now, Kirkland says a copycat attempted a similar heist right here in Reno a few years later. A man demanded ransom money and jumped from a plane above Washoe Lake. Officers found a car in that area with a USA Paratrooper Association bumper sticker, so they waited there. Sure enough, he walked right up to them about 4 hours later with his parachute and the money. Covering the story live in the studio, Paul Nelson, Channel 2 News.
Well, the skies are going to be clear here over the next several days, and temperatures will continue to warm, at least for another day or two. We'll tell you what will happen as we get into the weekend coming up in a bit.
And people have been talking about Orangetheory Fitness moving to town for months now. And this week, it officially opened its doors. I'll show you what this style of training is all about in tonight's Health Watch.
I'm Ariana Bennett, live at Reno City Hall, where the City Council was discussing some possible changes to its master plan. I'll explain why and tell you what they decided right after the break.
You're watching Channel 2 News at 5:30 with Kristen Remington, Landon Miller, sports with Garrett Dearborn, and Mike Alger's Pinpoint 2 forecast.
For the last several months, the city of Reno has been surveying residents, asking about the changes they'd like to see to the biggest little city.
Absolutely. Tonight, the city council is taking that feedback and considering it to change the master plan. Ariana Bennett is live at City Hall now, where that meeting just wrapped up moments ago. And Ari, what did they decide tonight?
Well, city council members were listening to the Planning Commission about that study that we mentioned earlier, that survey. Now, they basically just decided to move forward with that discussion. They didn't decide to change anything today. Now, the two main issues they were discussing today were two of the big things that popped up in that survey, and that was employment issues here in the biggest little city and housing.
We know that the housing market is really hard right now for a lot of people. And what does that look like? Are developers going to go back and make more dense housing, more walkable communities, more bikeable communities?
The survey reports some big changes in Reno's population headed our way that will affect what citizens need. When it comes to housing, the survey found that right now the median housing price is too high for more than 2/3 of our population, and rental prices are rising as well. Now, this will mean a greater need for affordable housing developments, likely high-density complexes in areas that appeal to a younger population. Delgado says this information will help the council make decisions about which new developments to greenlight and which policies they should adjust to streamline the process.
Making sure that when we have our land use opportunities, is this something the community wants us to do, to put it aside for industrial or for commercial?
The city council plans to take what they got from this meeting, format into another survey, which the public can take, and that should be available within the next few months. Covering the story live at City Hall, Ariana Bennett, Channel 2 News.
Don't expect any clouds over the next few days, but we can probably expect a little wind coming up this weekend. We'll tell you why coming up right after this.
Well, I've heard that they play some pretty good baseball up in Northwest Reno. And apparently Kristen does some really good orange therapy.
That's right, Orange Theory. You could call it Orange Theory.
Oh, is
if
it
you
therapy?
Want. It's close. Okay, so this is Orangetheory Fitness. Franchises are in over half the country, and just this week one opened here in town. Why trainers say it's a fat-blasting workout. That's next.
Thanks for watching.
Gee, he's got his Pokemon. He's walking around the Reno Media Group building. I told you it's in the ladies' room.
No, it wasn't.
But you went in there.
No, I did not.
He's a liar. He's a liar.
I did not.
Salas 96.5.
Oh, let's ask. Hey, who are you yelling at, Will? Hey, Will. Hey, Will. Will. Hey, Will. Will Bradley.
The Reno American Little League is sending all 3 of their teams to the state tournament in Elko in a couple of weeks. I'm Dallas Colladi, and here from... Hey, Will. Hey, Will. Will. Will Bradley. Will Bradley, Alice 96.5.
A popular workout around the country hopes to paint the biggest little city orange. Orangetheory Fitness offers a unique blend of resistance and high-intensity interval training. Here's the thing, though. There's no questioning your effort. I'll show you why in tonight's Health Watch.
Let's have an awesome fun class and a high five on your way in. Let's do this, guys.
Stepping foot for the first time in the Reno market is a franchise that's gained momentum around the country.
Grab those handles and let's start rowing.
This is Orangetheory Fitness.
Orangetheory Fitness is a 60-minute total body workout. Half the time is spent on endurance, the other half is spent on strength and power.
The Orangetheory training model is based on training at the right intensity for the right amount of time.
I want those watts nice and high for that full minute.
And your effort is tracked with heart rate monitors that pop up proof of your performance on several screens around the room.
Keep those boards lighting up.
So for me, along with focusing on form, I'm paying close attention to this little green square on the screen. Green means I'm working out at a challenging but doable base pace. However, the real goal is to get your heart rate to the orange zone.
It is 85% of your maximum heart rate.
For 12 to 20 minutes throughout class.
In 3, 2, 1, let's go, guys.
It's not about competing against each other for an hour, but instead challenging yourself. The goal is to stay within your own fat-burning zone, which is different for everyone.
So I can literally have somebody in here that's been on the couch their whole life and never worked out, or somebody that's an Olympic athlete like Lola Jones, who's our spokesperson, and they can get the same type of a workout but in their individual zone.
Which you fluctuate between spiking high and dropping low. Research suggests this type of high-intensity interval training is effective for blasting fat, or in this case, splatting fat. You get splat points during your workout here too.
Your splat points are part of our logo, and it's a combination of the orange zone and the red zone. For every minute you spend in those zones, you're actually getting a splat point.
It's a fun way to compete against yourself.
Final 30.
Fueled by feedback that doesn't lie, with a goal to splat fat even hours after this color-coded, calorie-killing class.
Now, as for the ambiance, you'll of course see a lot of orange. Even the lights are orange, which owner Alexis Riggs says is an energizing color. Orangetheory is on South Virginia Street near the Human Bean and across from the old pink Scolari's. And you can check it out at the grand opening. It's Friday from 3 to 8 p.m. Along with that ribbon cutting, there will be prizes and specials and food as well. So for more, go to KTVN.com.
Man, I got tired just from looking at that video. Me and my buddy Achio, we're going to go try it out. Time to get a look at our roads right now with our traffic reporter, Will Bradley, in the Alice 96.5 Traffic Center. Will?
Well, we have a crash with injuries at Kingsbury Grade in State Line. Be on the lookout for the emergency vehicles there. And also another crash in Carson City that just happened. It is at Fairview and Roop. Also 80 westbound, there's congestion between McCarran and Pyramid Way in Sparks. And also watch out Spaghetti Bowl for stop-and-go traffic, especially if we're going from 80 eastbound to the 395-580 split. And that's traffic.
Now, here's Chief Meteorologist Mike Alger's Pinpoint 2 forecast, broadcast certified by the American Meteorological Society.
Well, again, the sky condition is going to be pretty simple forecast here over the next 7 days. Exactly what we had here today is what we're likely to have for pretty much the rest of the week. A lot of blue sky. We're certainly seeing it today from our Tahoe cam location, every cam that we've been looking at across the area. In fact, you have to go about 2-3 states away before you find your first significant cloud at all. What is going to change a little bit are these temperatures. Now, it did warm up today. We're at 92 degrees at the top of the hour. It's only 10% humidity. 2 points in the 20s. Barometer has fallen off. We got our north-northwest wind at 6 miles per hour. That is just about as calm as winds will get this time of day on a day that gets this warm. Tomorrow may be kind of similar to that. High of 94 and a low of 57 degrees. So we're 2 degrees now above average after being well below it for quite a few days prior. We actually started off 1 degree below the average at 57. Now, looking at the winds here, we're already seeing the winds, like I say, begin to die out a little bit. As we go in the next little bit of time, you see these arrows shrink up. Light winds throughout most of the day, and the westerly Washoe zephyr really isn't kicking in until probably 3, 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, and it's not going to be that strong. So the winds for us are going to be fairly light, I think, for one more day. Now, the change is going to happen when a low pressure system way up here over the horizon just starts to break off from this storm track that's been staying well to our north, and it's going to set up off the Pacific Northwest coast on Saturday and Sunday. That's going to give us a little added upper level flow there that will kick our winds up. But in the meantime, it's just a whole bunch of nothing here. You can see the next 24 hours, really the next 48 hours, everything goes way up to the north of us. We keep the west coast clear and temperatures warm. How warm? 80s in the mountains of the south, nearly 100 in Hawthorne tomorrow, 91 even up there at Ely, 90s all across the north here with Lovelock and Fallon pushing triple digits. Reno, tomorrow probably 97 for our high, 60 for our low, 94 in Carson City, mid-80s at Lake Tahoe. Your neighborhood temperatures at this point, you're going to start off in the 50s again, not very close to average, but then we'll warm up, probably add 3 to 4 degrees on top of what we saw here this afternoon. All right, Lake Tahoe, it's going to be sunny tomorrow. Winds should be light throughout most of the day, a little west breeze in the afternoon and a high of 83 degrees. Reno, we'll look at sunny skies as well, a high of 97 tomorrow. That's warmer. It's probably as warm as we'll get all week with light winds, maybe a little afternoon breeze. Still almost as warm on Friday, and then, like I say, we just cool it off slightly down seasonable levels on Saturday and Sunday, and maybe into the 80s on Monday and Tuesday, but still a very dry and stable flow.
Yeah, for sure. All right, thank you, Mike.
The Reno American Little League is sending all 3 of their teams to the state tournament in Elko in a couple of weeks. I'm Dallas Colladny, and hear from them coming up in sports.
Test, test, test.
Now, here's Sports Director Garrett Dearborn with Channel 2 Sports.
Well, they play some pretty good baseball in Northwest Reno as all three all-star teams of Reno American Little League advanced in age groups 10, 11, and 12 to the state championships in Elko after winning the District 1 title last weekend. Dallas Kolodny went over to Rob Drive to find out about those young ball players.
It's a lot of fun. Definitely better than just sitting at the pool.
That is because Robbie Snelling and the rest of the Reno American All-Star Little League teams get to keep playing baseball this summer with their friends. All three teams took home the championship in the Nevada District 1 playoffs last weekend and are now headed to the state tournament.
It's really good. It's nice. Our team has worked really hard to get here. We knew that we had a good team from the start. We just had to keep it rolling.
It feels great just knowing how good we are playing as a team. Oh, this is so fun. I love making new friendships with people along the way, too.
And with all three all-star teams advancing to the Nevada State Little League Championships, it has created a new feeling of camaraderie in their community.
Absolutely. Northwest Reno has really pulled together, and, Reno American is the framework of Northwest Reno, and all our families, all feed into this, and the schools. And, it's very special when the entire league is represented at every single age level and to have this kind of success.
Yeah, I think it definitely has. It's a tight-knit community up here in Northwest Reno, and it definitely brings everyone together when you got this many families taking part of it.
Now for the 11 and 12-year-olds behind me, they have a chance to go to the Little League World Series in Williamsport. Now, there's still a ways to go before they can qualify for that, but they say that would be a dream come true.
That would be a lot of fun, but just need to take it step by step and win each game that we play.
We're definitely going to have to play as a team and play great defense and hit the ball good. That would be great, just knowing that we made it that far. That would be awesome.
You really can't look that far ahead. You got to look one game at a time. Can't look too far ahead, but it would take a lot for these guys to get there, and it would be an honor.
The Nevada State Little League Championships are in Elko beginning on July 21st. Dallas Kolodny, Channel 2 Sports.
And good luck to them.
Yeah, totally. Thank you.
Yeah.
And we'll be right back. All right, all in all, relatively low fire danger week this week?
So far this week, Edmund, even with the real warm temperatures. Now, as we get into the weekend, the winds are going to pick up, and whether there are any fire weather watches or red flag warnings out of that is yet to be determined. But that's probably going to be the ticklish time here from a fire standpoint on Saturday and Sunday. We'll cool it down the 80s by first of next week.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks for being with us. Your next newscast is in a half hour.
Here's the CBS 18 News.